Let me hear you say Crux, yeah. Crux, yeah. Let me hear you say Crux, yeah. Crux, yeah. Crux, yeah podcast.
Crux proper.
You a clout chasing faking ass industry dick swallower. I can give a fuck about you and your fake followers. Posting on your story in your daddy's Porsche. You flashing bands that you carries cash out the chore. You are that. Crux Yeah podcast. What's up? We are recording here from the home studio. It's the first home studio session recording here in Dallas, Fort Worth. And I'm here with my other new comic friend, just like myself, Jacob Marshall. What's up, bro?
What's up?
How's it going? What's up, dude? Yeah, man. So we're basically like starting out at the same time, pretty much, like, you know, minus like a month or 2 weeks or whatever.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So we're both like doing open mics, telling jokes, learning the craft, doing everything like that. But yeah, man.
Mostly just bombing. But I
don't know, man. We're both getting some laughs. We're both doing our thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes. Well, I mean, so you've had, because I mean, dude, you were talking about how, like, you in Denton, you had like someone just straight up like yell at you or something.
Yeah. So I have a joke about autistic people. I'm not gonna lie, I understand why people sometimes get offended at it. But yeah, I told the joke. And in the joke, like, I talk about like how my brother is autistic, and it's actually the only reason I still tell it is because it's my brother's favorite joke of mine, and it was also the first joke I ever wrote. So I said that in the joke, and still girl booed me, flipped me off, and told me to go fuck myself. I literally closed on it, got off stage, and walked straight out the door. I was like, I can't be here anymore.
Dude, that's so fucking funny, dude. Yeah, man. That's crazy, dude. I haven't had anything like, but you know what's really cool to see what you do, man, is like, you're doing something that I'm not doing yet, just because I'm like, I don't know. I'm not consciously trying to avoid it. I just haven't done it yet. You're taking a lot of risks in the beginning, which is good. What I think is good. You're like trying to push the envelope as much as you can. Like, I see you like really working towards like, what's that line? Like, how can I cross it, or how can I get to? At least that's how it comes off.
No, I get that. No, I don't think I'm intentionally trying to do it. I just think that's where like the humor that I enjoy is like kind of that boundary pushing type of humor.
Yeah.
Like my favorite one, like one of my favorite comics is Tom Segura, and I feel like that's a lot of what like he does. So I don't know. It's not that I'm intentionally doing it. It's just kind of like talk about what you know is kind of something comics say to do. And those are things that I know like a lot to talk about because it's like controversial opinions. And I mean, go on Twitter today and that's all you see is just people talking about controversial topics. So I don't know, just kind of testing it out. I guess it's risk taking.
Yeah, man. So no, I get what you mean, dude. But that's how it comes off. At least like you're trying new stuff. You know, you're like pushing the envelope and stuff like that. At least that's how it comes off for me. Which is good, which I think is good, because I haven't had any interactions. I haven't had someone go like, oh, you know what I mean? Or I haven't had anybody like boo a joke yet. I haven't had anybody like negative heckle me at all.
Yeah. And that's what I was telling you about the other day. I think we were talking about that Denton thing. And I was saying like, now if I know like I'm talking about a topic that could possibly upset someone, like I like to have like something like locked and loaded as a response.
Yeah.
So like with my rap joke, not a lot of times, like I've had, like you saw on Monday, I had the girl that was like, no, the moment I did the punchline for that joke. And it's like, I had that like, oh, history class must have been real rough for you. Like just locked and loaded. Like I already had that like in the back of my mind. I've had that for weeks since I started telling that joke. Cause it's just like, I don't feel like I'm strong enough yet to be able to do that on the fly. So like having that just like in the back of my mind for those jokes can help save me sometimes.
Yeah. No, that's for sure, man. Like, that was cool. Like I remember like the first like real it wasn't even a heckle. It's more just like audience participation, setting up like a nice little underhand pitch for me. It's like when that one chick, like when we were doing Twilight open mic on Wednesday,
and she stepped on your joke.
She stepped on the joke, and it's cool because I got to use it. I got to be like, stepped on the fucking joke, like thank you, you know, and people laughed about that, you know.
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool. But yeah, man, I mean, it's gonna happen eventually, I'm sure, and you just kind of got to roll with it. But yeah, dude, I don't know, man. Like I heard people talking about. Like a story about, have you ever watched any of Bernie Mac stuff?
I feel like I have, but it was probably a long time ago.
Yeah.
Off the top of my head, I don't remember anything specific from.
So I've heard like a lot of people talk about, like big famous people like Joe Rogan and everything talk about Bernie Mac, and a lot of big comics give him a lot of praise in the Def Comedy Jam days. And then last night when I was working the door at Hyenas Fort Worth, there were a couple guys upstairs that I was chopping it up with, and they were talking about how great he was. I got to look up like the YouTube videos, like, cause I guess he was amazing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I know that Def Comedy Jam was like a big deal back, in the 90s, or was it the 2000s?
I think it was like late 80s and 90s. Definitely 90s though. That's like the peak. But yeah, man, what he was talking about with Bernie Mac, talking about hecklers, is like obviously like they had some like real like hood shows, you know what I mean, that they did, and like there's like I guess like some actual like gangster was in the audience, and like he was heckling, and then Bernie Mac was getting him really good, so he like got up on stage and was like basically like do something, you know, and Bernie Mac had to be like, all right, like I'm out. I guess I gotta look it up, but that's what they were talking about.
That's what I actually heard a story where Bert Kreischer was talking about, like he was in Miami and there were some like gangbangers like heckling everybody the whole show.
Oh God.
And he ended up closing, and what he ended up doing, I can't remember exactly how he set it up, but he was talking about some dick joke or something like that, and he basically like baited them into coming up on stage and like whipping their dick out. And because they all did it, they all had to leave. So he ended up getting the hecklers out of the room and killing with the audience at the same time.
Wow.
Because one by one they went up on stage and just pulled their pants down and showed their dicks. It's ridiculous.
Dude, that's great, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So he like worked it in. It wasn't like he was making it a confrontation.
No.
Yeah. Well, that's good.
Yeah.
That's really good. That was like a really good angle to take with it. Yeah. I don't know, man. Like, so my experience has been like, you know, just like being a month in, you know, to this thing, like basically, is, all the stories I would hear, like all like the comics that we like talking about on podcasts, like all the stuff, or like listening to seasoned comics and like being like, oh yeah, like, you know, they papered the room and there's all this drama. It sounded so intimidating, but now that I'm actually doing it, it's like, I still have a ton to learn for sure, but it's not as crazy as it was in my mind. You know what I'm saying? Like in my mind, I'm like, oh my God, how do you handle all that shit?
Yeah, I think the question starting for me was like, can I do this? And now that I've been doing it for 2 months, it's like, I know I can do this. I can be funny. The question now is more of like, will I be good enough to make it? And will I be good enough to like actually make money off of this? Because I feel like there's a lot of people out there that are really funny, but just never really make it. Like never make it as like a real like lucrative career.
Right. Have you ever heard of Simon Sinek?
I have not.
Okay. So his whole thing is start with why. He has a book about it. He gives, you know, he's done a TED talk. Like he gives he holds conferences, you know, and gives talks and speeches all around the world. He's pretty cool, man. You know, I've read his book a few years ago, and his whole philosophy is when you're setting out to do something, you know, whether it be comedy or whether it be, you know, getting into finance or whether it be, you know, whatever you want to do, opening your own business. If you ask like, why are you doing this? Like you ask somebody like, why am I doing this? It's like, oh, well, I want to be famous, or I want to make a lot of money, or I want to like, you know, have all this respect. It's like, no, that's not what I asked you. Those are results, right? Yeah. So why are you doing what you're doing? Right. And then he gets in, like, he gives a bunch of pretty cool examples. Like he talks about like all the big corporations like Apple, like they don't sell computers. They sell a whole culture of like what they're doing, right? They sell like an identity, right?
Yeah.
People are the Apple person. Like, are you Apple or are you Android? You know what I mean? Like, are you Mac or are you PC? Starbucks, they don't sell coffee. they sell their own culture of things, right? They sell convenience, right? They sell all this stuff. So the whole thing there is they're selling a shitload of coffee and Apple's selling a shitload of computers and phones, but they're doing that because of the culture they've set up, not because it's what they sell. A bunch of companies sell that shit. Yeah. You know what I mean? But they're the best because they have this identity. Yeah. So the whole thing, my point is like, I think something for us to really keep in mind is like, you know, once again, me too, like we just need to focus on like what we're doing. Like, you know what I mean? Like being funny, getting funnier, learning, you know what I mean? And really
definitely
doing it because you love it. And if you have that kind of like drive for it and everything, you know what I mean, then, you know, that's really what the key is going to be. Yeah. You know what I mean?
No, we talk about, in school, I'm a sports psychology major. So like in my classes, exercise science or exercise psychology, sports psychology, sociology of sport, like we kind of learned about like motivation a lot. And the one thing that they found like through studies is that being like extrinsically motivated, so like having motivations outside of yourself, is actually like going to lead to you being less successful and less likely to keep following through with exercise or really any activity. And it's really about that intrinsic motivation of like trying to better yourself, and doing something that you love is going to be the reason that you're going to stick to something and keep working at it and keep improving.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. Yeah. Cause like, that's the whole thing is like, just, you really got to like be dedicated to like the whole like bulk of what you're doing and everything. And then everything else is going to come, you know, from within there. Sorry, everybody, had a little technical difficulty, had to clip that back in, but here we are. Yeah, man. So, so it's just like about, you just got to dedicate yourself. Can't really worry about, you know, what's going to happen, you know, like a month from now, 2 months, like, am I going to do this? Am I going to do that? And, you know, I think we just got to focus on just fucking writing and performing, man. You know what I mean? And just getting better, because anything, you know, out of beyond that, you have no control over, you know. Like I told you before, I've been, you know, sober for a long time. You know what I mean? I've been like in recovery, you know, from drugs and alcohol for years.
Boring for a long time.
I've been fucking boring as fuck forever, dude. Like I have no friends, and no one wants to talk to me. No, I've been, you know, sober off, you know, drugs and alcohol since 2004. So a long ass fucking time, man. And one thing that the program teaches you, you know, is, you know, in Alcoholics Anonymous, for anybody that knows or anybody that's in recovery, is everything is out of your control, man. Like, you're absolutely powerless over everything besides like basically what you have in front of you, for lack of a better word. And there's some spirituality stuff that comes into play, and there's all this kind of stuff with the 12 steps and everything, which is great stuff. But like, to simplify it down and not get into like a rabbit hole on it, long story short, it's like, dude, all you can focus on is what's going on right now, man. Yeah. You can't focus on an hour from now. You know, you can work towards things that happen in an hour or a day or a month or a year, but worrying about them or trying to control them is absolutely useless, dude.
Oh yeah.
You know?
Oh, and that's tough for me too, because I'm such a planner. Like, if you would have asked me when I was graduating high school if I would be doing this right now, I would have told you there's no way. Like, my whole plan was, I'm going to go to TCU, I'm going to work for the basketball team, I'll get my degree in sports psychology, and then I'll go be a graduate assistant coach somewhere, and I'll work my way up the ladder and eventually be a college basketball coach.
Got it.
And now I'm like, I don't know if I want to do that anymore. Yeah. And fifth year senior now, didn't think that was going to happen. Like, taking my victory lap though, in stride, and doing fucking telling dick jokes now.
Hey man, but I'll tell you this, dude, it's so cool that you're doing that, and like that you're diving in, you know, and jumping in with both feet, because dude, like, if like, because I'll tell you, man, like, I've put like a bunch of priorities. Like, I've been in the music business for a long time. Like, We Are the Flesh is my music project now. We have a lot of success with it. You know, we're doing well. We have some fans. You know, we're getting a nice little following that helps us keep everything going financially, which is great. But, you know, I've been in the music business for years. I did that. And then I dabbled in comedy in 2012 for like 5 minutes. But then what happened is I started making a lot of money, you know what I mean, in automotive, like, you know, like selling cars, and I started getting promoted, you know, up the chain, and I got into finance, and I became a finance manager, and I was doing that I was making, you know, 180, 200K a year for several years, man. And so on paper, how does it look? Like, oh yeah, like, you know, I'm in my 20s, I'm making a lot of money, like way more than most people my age. I paid for my wedding. When me and my wife got married, I paid for my wedding and my honeymoon in cash, the entire thing, you know what I mean? All by myself. I did a bunch of stuff, like bought cars, cash, you know what I mean? Like, and my point is, on paper, it's like, wow, you look like you're killing it, right? But inside, dude, I fucking hated it.
Yeah.
Like, I fucking hated it, dude. Like every day when I'd get up to go to work, I'd be like, fuck.
Yeah.
Like 3 hours, 2 hours, 1 hour. Fuck, I got to get in the car. God damn it. Driving there, like listening to music, like, God, fuck, it's 5 minutes till I get there. You know, dreading, hating sitting down at my desk, counting down the hours till I could leave, being just like, you know, not depressed, you know what I mean? Because I was doing what I had to do. You got to make a living. But at the end of the day, I fucking hated it, dude. I did not like life. I was miserable. So now that whenever I show, and I'll tell you this, dude, like, so I took a job where I can make less money, but still have enough to like support myself, support my family and everything like that while I pursue what I really want to do. And I'll tell you this, dude, as an exact contrary to that, when I step inside the comedy clubs that we do open mics at, when I step inside one of the bars that we do open mics at, dude, I am like absolutely happy, dude.
Yeah.
Like, I am like so happy to be there, bro. Even if I'm just standing around talking to other comics, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's just so fucking fun.
Yeah.
Like, that's how I know that, like, I love it like so much, dude. It's like, so yeah, I'd rather make way less money as long as it's enough to take care of myself and and other people that depend on me, and still pursue this, you know, until I can try to figure out, maybe I'll be able to make money off it someday. It's the starting point right now, you know, but, you know, maybe I will, maybe I won't. All I can focus on right now is just trying to get better, kind of circling back to what we were talking about, you know? So it's like, you know, that's the important, and my whole point in bringing that up, dude, is like, you're saying you're a planner, you know, like I was going to do all this stuff. I'll tell you right now, dude, is just somebody who's like just older, and like, I'm not trying to like little bro you or anything. I'm just saying, dude, straight up, as somebody who like went like, no, other things are more important, because I think that they are. Like, I never made a lot of money. I didn't come from a lot of money, man. So like, when I started making fucking $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 a month, I was like, holy fuck.
Yeah.
Like, this is a lot of fucking money. This is great. This is fun. I have so much freedom, so much power to do things that I want to do with my friends and my then girlfriend. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, now wife, but I'm like, but at what cost, dude? You know what I mean? So
if you're miserable, then it doesn't matter.
Yeah, dude. Like, do you have the same feelings? Like when you step into an open mic or a club, like, do you feel like really, really happy to be there? Or you just kind of like, whatever?
I think most of the time I'm happy. I don't know. I'm kind of moody. You've seen some of my sets where I'm just like, fuck everything, and just go up there, sit on the stool and just bitch about shit. Like, sometimes I'm just in a shit mood and there's nothing that's going to bring me out of it. And those nights I just walk up, bitch on stage for my 5 to 8 minutes, and then walk straight out the door, go to my car and drive home. But no, yeah, it's definitely, that's what I was actually, my aunt's in town this week. And my brother just yesterday signed his papers to go into the Marines. So like, we were talking about like what job he wants in the Marines and stuff like that. And I guess he's going to try to be like an air traffic controller. And I was just like, I could never. Like, that sounds so boring to me. And my aunt was like, yeah, like, I mean, you can't do a 9 to 5. Like, that's just not you. Like, you have to have something different all the time, which is true. Like, all my life, like every time I've had a job, I like love it. Like, I mean, I was telling you, I worked at Taco Bell in high school. I literally loved it for like 2 to 3 months. Like, I was working like 60 hours a week because I was like, this is a blast. Like, I'm working with all my friends. Like, our manager didn't give a shit about anything. So we would, like 16 years old, we would bring like a bottle of vodka into Taco Bell and like mix it with the slushy machine, not in the actual slushy machine, but like put out a little, get some vodka, mix it up, and we just get fucked up at work. It was a blast. But after like 3 months, I was just miserable. Like, I don't want to be here anymore. So I ended up working there like 10 months, and then I left. I ended up working at Outback Steakhouse for like a year, and that was pretty much the same thing. Then started working for the basketball team at TCU. Loved it the whole first season. And since then, I've just been miserable. Like, you'll see this year, because I'm still working for the basketball team. Like, when the season starts, I'm in a great mood all the time. When it comes like February, March, I literally hate my life. Like, hate my life. Like, our equipment guy for the basketball team, like every year, like in February or March, like he'll just start pulling me into his office like 2 or 3 times a week to just like let me sit down and just like bitch about shit, because I'm just miserable. Like, I just want the season to be over. I'm so tired of it. So yeah, it's like, I don't know, like I feel like this is something I could actually stick with. But like I said, we're 2 months in, so who knows? But
you're 2 months in, I'm 1 month in.
Yeah.
So who knows for me? I could be gone next month. Probably not though.
No,
Probably
I don't think you will.
Nah, I don't think so. But yeah, man, dude, I mean, yeah. So, but at the end of the day, like there's moodiness and stuff like that. But I feel like when you step in, this is a question. So when you step into like, the open mic bars that we've been performing at, or like at a club on an open mic night and stuff, or even when you go to watch, I mean, don't you feel like just like, man, like this is, if I could figure out how to like support myself and just do this, you're like that would be
100%. Yeah, no, it's like the schedule. This is bright and early for me right now. Like it's almost noon.
He's on the old man schedule right now. I had him get up at the crack of 10 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, this was tough. I woke up at 8 a.m. for this. I was like, I cannot wake up, roll out of bed and be here. I will still be asleep when I get here. So no, like, so the idea of getting to work at night alone, great. Yeah, but then it's also just, it's a blast just getting to be creative and like kind of make people have a great night. Not make them, but hopefully they're gonna fucking like this shit, okay?
Dude, I was just, so remember when I was trying to figure out the fucking audio shit, like trying to figure out how to record us before we started. One of my best friends, his name is Tyler. I was talking to him on the phone. He was trying to help me figure it out because I'm an idiot. I
can confirm.
We were joking about that on the phone, right? Because we were talking about like comedy and talking about getting into it and all that stuff. And I was like, dude, like I've gotten a lot better over the years. Mm-hmm. I've gotten a lot more, it's gotten a lot more manageable. And like with time, as I've gotten a little older, a little bit more mature, I've been able to manage it a lot better. But dude, I have a fucking temper, dude. Now, I don't just look to get set off, but dude, when someone's fucking with me, or when someone's not respecting me, or when I get fucking pissed about something that's legitimately not wrong, dude, I can fucking, everybody called it like the blow up. You know what I mean? Like the Crux blow up. Like all my friends would say that, and like, so my point is like, we were joking about how like, if I get in that kind of mood or that headspace, dude, and I get on stage, we were joking like, they're like, you motherfuckers better laugh, because if you don't, I'm gonna be fucking pissed.
hey, fuck you. That was a good ass joke. Yeah. That was smart as fuck, and your fucking dumbasses didn't get it.
Yeah, dude. Like, you better fucking laugh, motherfuckers. You better have a good fucking time, dude, or I'm gonna fucking kill all you.
I know where all of you parked. Okay.
Dude, this is a good crowd. So like, whenever I get to the point where I'm just doing some real close crowd work, I have a thing that I've thought of for years that I haven't done yet, obviously, but I want to do, is like, just be like, what's up, man? How you doing? Like, you know what I mean? Some guy there, and like, where do you live? And like, he's going to assume like he's going to say like Denton or Dallas or something. Like, no, like your address. And then he's going to fucking be like, and then fucking, I'll just be like, and then he'll be like, oh, it's like, just laugh or whatever. And,
first, middle, last name, credit card number.
Yeah.
What's that security code on the back?
Oh no, or just keep going, or just be like, so that they'll be like, oh, it was a joke. Like, I'm not going to tell you my address, obviously, right? And be like, why, dude? Like, you don't want to fucking hang out with me, dude? I'm not cool enough for you?
You got street lights, or?
I wore this outfit just for you, dude.
Yeah.
I was trying to fucking impress you, bro.
I don't drink, cool. But like, I'm cool if you drink.
Yeah, like, yeah, dude. But, yeah, dude, that shit's, it's just crazy to kind of see how that stuff kind of natural. That's another thing. So going back to like heckling or crowd work and stuff, that's another thing that I'm kind of blown away by. It might seem like not even that big of a deal to you, but it's just kind of cool to me, is that, it's the flow of like communicating with the audience. Like, if you want to, or things that naturally just come up, that shit happens a lot easier than I thought it was going to.
Yeah, it's kind of, like when Rogan talks about it and like compares it to like fighting, I feel like that's true. Like, I mean, I did jujitsu for like a year, So it's kind of like it is a flow. But like sometimes you can catch yourself getting like caught, like you get hit and you like take a step back and you're like, oh shit, I fucked up. But like sometimes it's just like you're rolling with it and you can throw it back, you can keep going. It's just about keeping it like conversational. That's what Ian Mack was talking to me about, is like you can't like go up on stage with like the mindset of like, this is my set and I'm here to give you my set. You have to go up there with like, hey, like I want to talk to you guys about this. Like I want to like, let's have a conversation. It's going to be a one-sided conversation, hopefully, but like let's just talk to each other, because then you get more comfortable. Then if somebody does like yell something out at you, you're already in that mode to like fire back, or even just like play along with it. Like on Wednesday, did you see my set on Wednesday at Bodega?
Yeah.
So I was doing that shower sex joke, and that girl was like, no, like shower sex is the best. And the whole premise is super hacky. It's about how I hate shower sex. And she was like just arguing with me over it. But I just ended up like, she was like, oh, you just got to bring lube in there. So I was just like playing along. I was like, water-based or oil-based? Flavored?
Oh, I don't remember that. Using? Was that fucking drunk ass?
No. Not Julie Diaz. That was Pork Chop, her friend, the little one that actually did a set.
Got it. Oh, yeah, that was, yeah, that's right. Because she was like, that's the one that was like, you know, like, this is what I need in a man. Like, you know, like, I got standards or whatever. Like, you got to have food. You got to have, like, essentials. You know, like, you got to have a car. And then I leaned over to you. I was like, so you just have to have food and a car to fucking fuck this bitch? Like,
yeah, but then she said you have to have a big dick. And we were both like, oh, we're
damn it. That's what I was like, damn it. And everybody fucking laughed. Yeah, that's right. I remember that.
I was the only one that laughed.
There were a couple, those black dudes in front of us. They turned around and were like, "Hey, man, you're pretty cool."
Sure.
White motherfucker.
Sure. Yeah. I'm kidding. It was hilarious. It killed. Yeah. With all 6 people.
Dude, I stole the show and like I just went up there and took the mic and just started performing again. It was pretty cool. No, I'm just kidding. But
just waiting on when Crux pulls an Earl Campbell and just strips naked on stage.
Oh my God, dude, that was so great. There's another dude, Earl. That's a comedian that's a new comic friend of mine. Then he just like fucking like took his clothes off minus his boxers on stage like at one of the open mics like a week ago. It was pretty cool because he didn't build it up or anything. It wasn't a big production. He just literally just took his fucking clothes off.
No, so this open mic is like, it's at this club like in downtown Fort Worth. And it's like one of the clubs that like the TCU students go to. So like on late Wednesday nights, you get people coming in and they're not expecting comedy at all. So they just come in, they're not really listening. And I think he was saying that like, cause I went up earlier that night. So people were listening when I went up, but nobody had listened to like the last like 5 comics when he went up. So he just said, fuck it. I was like, I'm just going to get naked and they'll stop talking. And it worked. They stopped talking. Everyone had their full attention on Earl.
Yeah, that was true. Hey, I have a question though. Do you know how long they've been doing that Bodega Wednesday?
A few years.
Okay. So that's so funny, right? That people don't expect it. Cause it's like, bro, this shit's been going on like every Wednesday for a while. Like you'd think you'd know.
Yeah. I think Wednesday's like an inconsistent night for people to go out though. I think that plays a part of it.
Yeah, that's true.
And it's not a place that has a lot of regulars just because of where it is. And the way it is, it's not like it's not like Mad Hatter, which is like a small bar where it's like you have 3 bartenders that everybody knows the bartenders that work there. I mean, it's always Bailey on Monday nights. Everybody knows Bailey, and Bailey has her regulars. So those are the people that come in on Mondays that aren't the comics. But like with Bodega, there's not like a regular type setup. It's just, I mean, during the school year, you'll see it's going to be like college students showing up looking for a bar that's fun out on 7th Street on a Wednesday.
Gotcha. Yeah. I already picture that in my mind. You know what I mean? I'm like, dude, I bet you in the fall, you're going to see like a big influx. Like you're going to see a lot more students here than in June.
Yeah. July. I don't know if it's going to like drastically change like how big the crowd is.
Oh, it will. It's going to drastically change.
Oh, you think?
Yeah. No, I don't know.
No, from what I've heard that it like gets a little better, but it's not great. Like from Andrew and Ian, they were saying that it gets a little bit better.
Right.
But yeah, you're just going to get more college students that probably are going to be a lot harder to get them to actually listen. So
yeah.
I mean, that'll be good though. A little tougher crowds always, it's never a bad thing.
Yeah. Fuck yeah, dude. That's always good. Yeah, man. And then I got pulled over.
Yep.
Right before I was there this Wednesday, like I was literally just taking a right turn and I was parking. like just trying to get into the venue.
There was a stop sign and he ignored it.
Yeah. Well, according to the cop that pulled me over, I blew through the stop sign. You know what I mean? But he's like, what's going on, man? Like, then he was pretty nice, man. You know, I am white, so that helps a lot. So, you know, like he was like, hey man, okay, you're white. So where are you going, man? Like, what's going on? Can we go hang out? Like, so he was like, where are you going? And then I was like, I'm actually going to this comedy show. And then he's like, are you a performer? And I was like, yeah. He's like, oh, that's cool. And then like,
yeah, you just big dogged him.
Yeah. So then he was like, oh, well, he just ran into his car and checked my license real quick and then fucking went back.
Yeah, you got out of a ticket because he thought you were like a legit comic already.
Yeah, that's why I was like playing it up. He's like, oh, so you're the talent. I was like, you know, I mean,
you can play it down all you want right now, but in that moment, you're like, yeah, I'm the talent.
Yeah, I know. I just absolutely. I was like, yes, sir. But but yeah, man, that was an interesting experience. Talking about like joking about like being white, so I'm going to do better with cops because it's true. Mm-hmm. You have, do you care if we talk about your bits?
No, I don't care.
Okay.
It's fine.
Because I don't care about mine either. So you have one of my favorite things is like, you know, the fucking white people made all the rules anyway, you know?
Yeah.
And
I think that's my favorite joke of mine right now too.
That's my favorite joke of yours. So you know how you deal with like, you're like, hey man, like, you know, like make up these rules. Well, white people made up all the rules anyway. Like that's like the punchline of your joke. So I have this one that I'm like workshopping right now that I haven't done. So like the whole thing is like, okay, so you know how like so many like straight white males in the media are always complaining about like they don't have a voice anymore, like they're not represented as much and stuff. Like there are a lot of people that say that stuff, you know what I mean? Like Fox News, all this stuff kind of implies that, you know what I mean? Like we don't have a voice anymore. And like my whole thing is like I would say that, right? Like they don't have a voice anymore. And then, you know, I'd be like, so let me be very clear here. White privilege is real. Okay. And I have it. Right. So we shouldn't, as straight white males, we shouldn't be complaining about how we don't have a voice anymore. We should be complaining about how hard it is to have all these choices. And then like, feel like, you know, I have to choose like everything. Like I have to fucking workshop it. But
it's a good premise.
Yeah. It would all be in like the delivery. Like it would be like, I'd like put it down and be like, you shouldn't be doing this.
See, my angle would still be to take it the bad guy way. Like I always play the bad guy. I don't know. I feel like I would take it into like, just because of me knowing like what I look like. I mean, I'm 22 years old, so I look like a college kid, a white dude. So, I mean, maybe people look at me like a frat guy. I don't know. But, like then you could take it into like, like you have to decide which girl you're going to drug tonight. Like you have to decide, like there's all these decisions. Like you have to decide what lawyer is best for you. I don't know. Like just go into like super bad guy role with it.
Yeah.
So like you're playing it like you're on their side and then you just flip it on the crowd.
Yeah, dude. Well, I'd have to like set up like, cause the whole thing would be like, you know, we shouldn't be doing this. Like it's because we should be complain about all these choices, you know what I mean? And like, just have this look like, you know, I'm fucking around and then, be like, you know, like, dude, like I can do anything. Like,
dude, do I want a black Mercedes or a white Mercedes?
Yeah. Like I have to, I mean, dude,
how am I supposed to decide what to name my boat?
I can be anything, dude. I mean, that's so hard. It's like being in a candy store, man. Choices are hard. So something like that. I don't know. I'd have to obviously like work on it and try it and stuff.
Yeah.
But I feel like if there was ever anything that I was going to get some kind of negative heckling on, that would be one for sure. Or that would be like a lot more likely than all the.
Yeah. I mean, the people that'll get mad at that one are the same people that get mad at almost every joke. So
yeah, exactly, dude. Exactly.
You're not going to win it's just, there's some people you're just not going to win over unless you're just going up and being super hacky and super woke comic-y.
Yeah, fuck that.
Wokey dokey.
Dude, I'd rather bomb than get praise for that personally, man.
Yeah, well, I feel like a lot of those comics do bomb in normal rooms.
Right.
Like
right,
that.
right.
I mean, that's why the alt scenes kind of died. The alt scene was great when Trump was around, but I think now that Trump's gone, people just don't give a shit anymore.
It died along with everything else, like with the media that like made a lot of money covering, you know.
Yeah,
covering
they are
him.
Struggling.
Yeah, they are, dude. Like budgets are going down. Like Fox News, MSNBC, both sides of the equation, man. Everybody's everybody's views, everybody's watch time is just going way down because of.
I mean, it was already going that way, and Trump kind of was saving them. But now it's like...
Well, he became their business.
Yeah.
He became like the model on both sides, on the right and the left.
Yeah, they got The Apprentice full time on news TV.
Except he's like the leader of the free world. It's like, holy fuck. Yeah, it was crazy, bro.
Just want to say I'm not a Trump supporter. I just want to make that clear. I'm sounding real pro-Trump at the moment, and I don't want to.
Oh, man. But yeah, man, so...
Sleepy Joe. No, I'm kidding.
Dude, that's another thing that I've said. I said it once in front of a room that was all comics, so it completely bombed. So I might try to pull it out again. I don't really like to delve into politics, so the way that I set it up was like, hey, man, look, I don't care who you voted for. I don't really care what your political views are, but I don't care what you say. When you watch Biden give press conferences now, he straight up looks and sounds like the substitute teacher that took over the class. And like the regular teacher is gone and he's like trying to get control of it. Cause he's always just like, like, hey, what's going on? Like, what do you even do here? And what do you put the phone? Who threw that? You know what I mean? He's like kind of like that. You know what I mean? Yeah.
I think that act out at the end is good. I think the problem with that joke is that it's too honest and people are just like, especially in Fort Worth, you're going to get a lot more Republicans than you are going to get Democrats in a crowd. So people are just going to be like, well, yeah.
I mean, he sucks.
Is this a joke or like, are we just, this is what we talk about at dinner every night.
We fucking hate him, dude. Yeah, so what are you talking about?
What a fucking moron. Like, why are we talking about this?
Also, dude, I feel like, I don't know, man. Like, I feel like either like it could just be that it's not even close to being funny. And if I try to work on it, it might get funny. That's certainly obviously a possibility, right? Which is fine if that's the case. But it also might just be, I don't know, man. I kind of have mixed feelings even when I said it, because I feel like it might be that just because we're coming out of this like time of just like uncertainty and everything's still all kind of weird and everybody's kind of like fucked up and like there's so many mixed feelings and like everything's so politically fucked up in the country right now, like in terms of like being like polarized. Like I wonder if it's just kind of like people are just kind of like, I don't know.
I just stay away from politics altogether. I wrote one political joke and I've never told it on stage. I told it to my granddad because he was like, I want to hear one of your jokes. And I was like, I can't tell you any of my jokes. And then I wrote that one and I was like, okay, like I can tell you this one. But like, and even that one, like the whole joke is basically just like so outrageous of a concept that it's like almost not political at all. Like it was about Israel and Palestine when that conflict was like big on social media and all that stuff. Yeah. And the whole like joke was basically like me saying how much of a moron I am. And then being like, but I got an idea. I know how to fix this shit. Yeah. And saying we should let China take over because they know how to keep their people in line, right?
Yeah, exactly. Right.
But it's like, it's political, but I don't feel like it's super political either. It's because it's just so stupid.
Yeah. It's not like you're getting into like, you do realize that our economy is being raped from the inside, right? Like it's not.
Yeah, well, there's one comic that I'm friends with, but Jesus Christ, he goes so political on everything. But his favorite comic is Dave Smith, if you know who that is.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
So, and he's like super big libertarian fan. on everything, just like Dave Smith.
Dude, isn't Dave Smith bit about the fucking the deaf interpreter, like the sign language interpreter that like did?
Was that on Libertas, his last special?
Yeah.
Yeah, I watched that like a week or two ago, and I honestly didn't pay super close attention.
That was funny. Yeah, that was
his special was funny from what I listened to. But yeah, I try to like, I just don't really love political comics. Super, like it's just
like Lewis Black and shit. You're not really into it?
Nah, just not my thing. That's cool. I hate politics so much. It's just like, even like if it's funny, I'm just like, yeah, like that's funny, but I don't really care. Like, I don't have any skin in the game, I feel like.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I can understand that. And that's why I was like, I don't even know if I want to delve into this, man. Because like, I'm so new anyway. Like, do I even want to fucking try going down this path?
I feel like it's not, it doesn't hurt. Like, if it ends up being something you're good at, then fuck it. Like, you found something.
Yeah.
It's do you want to, if you do get good at that, is that something that you're okay being? And
This is how I feel, man. I feel like if you can do a good impression of a current politician and you can work it in a way that's just kind of universal.
Oh yeah, then
that's fine. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's more what I was trying to do instead of like being like fucking, let's talk about like the fact that a Democrat's in the White House, right? I wasn't trying to do that. Yeah. I was just like, you know, hey dude, I don't care who you are or what you believe in, but this dude kind of, after what we just had for 4 years, this dude seems like he's the substitute teacher, man.
Yeah. I feel like you have to make fun of Democrats as if you are a Democrat, and you have to make fun of Republicans as if you are a Republican. Because I see a lot of comics that go political that make fun of Republicans from a Democratic perspective and make fun of Democrats from a Republican perspective. And you're just going to lose everyone when you do that. Yeah. Because you're going to have the Republicans, if you're making fun of Democrats from a Republican perspective, you're going to have the Republicans just agreeing with you. And then you're going to piss off the Democrats in the room. Yeah. So you're just not going to win. But if you make fun of the Democrats from a Democrat perspective, then the Democrats will be able to laugh at themselves and the Republicans will laugh because he's making fun of the Democrats.
Yeah. But another thing that I was talking about before we set this up, I talked about it on the first episode too, the one that we did like for the first episode of this podcast, dude. Like watching on like a completely separate note, like trying to like listen to tutorials. Like, why are all the fucking tutorials like with foreign fucking accent people, dude?
True, they all are.
Yeah, like, dude, and to be very clear, dude, I do not care about like what your nationality is or whatever.
I
like,
do.
If you're my friend, you're my friend. Like, I don't care. Like, you know, I speak Spanish and English. Like, I have tons of friends. I
speak only English because this is America.
I see, dude. And I've worked in places where I'm the only white guy and had been friends with a bunch of people there. Like, I don't even care. It's not even a matter of race, right? Or even like where you're from. It's just the fact that, dude, if I'm talking to you and we're having a casual conversation and you have a fucking foreign accent, I could give a fuck less. I will talk to you. I want to listen to your culture. Definitely, I want to hear about you. I want to talk about things. I want to learn from you, learn from me. But if I'm trying to fucking learn something very specific, I'm trying to take instructions like on a video on how to use my fucking GarageBand or like use a camera, right? That I'm just getting set up. I do not want to fucking hear like, hello, I am Abila, and today I'm going to show you how to use M45 camera.
Well, dude, and you're not alone on that either. Like, I had a sociology class I took, and the professor was Nigerian, like straight up Nigerian. And the first day of class, we had 45 students in there. And the second day of class, we had 27. Like, so many people just dropped the class because they couldn't understand his accent. Like, that was the only reason. Like, wow. And it's like, I understand it on something. Like, if you literally can't understand the accent, then like, yeah, you're going to really struggle in a class. Yeah. But at the same time, it's like, it wasn't that bad. Like, I did just fine in that class. I got a B, and I'm so whitewashed. Like, I mean, look at me. Look at me, dude. Like, I'm the whitest kid on the planet. And I could understand him. I've literally never lived outside of Tarrant County, Texas. Like,
yeah, your whole life, bro.
Literally born in Arlington, moved to Keller, and then live in Fort Worth. Like,
yeah, dude. I mean, man, like, so that's the thing. Just like you're talking about, I have no problem in a situation like that, or even if I'm taking a class, right, and I'm learning and I'm interacting with somebody. But if I'm trying to learn about something, I don't know how the fuck to use it, right? And then I have to take instruction on it very quickly. It's not like a class where I'm taking notes and I can ask questions. This is a video of somebody that I'm watching, and they're fucking going through it. I definitely want to make a bit out of this because, like, I feel like a lot of people will relate to that.
Oh yeah. Well, and then the best part is like when we were watching the video, how like they have to start out with their intro, like follow me on Facebook, friend me on Facebook, go give me a like. Here's my Twitter. Here's our email. Email us with any.
Well, the problem is I don't really care, like, because what I'm doing on my videos and stuff, like, I'm just gonna be, hey, dude, I know you don't give a shit about what's going on. You know what I mean? Especially if you like the guest, like, and you're interested in the guest that I have, or like whatever. You don't just want to do the normal bullshit how everybody tells you to fucking like and subscribe and all that shit. I'm gonna be like, hey guys, what's going on? Like, what I do is like, hey guys, like and subscribe real quick. Follow me. It really helps me out. Help me out with the algorithm.
Zip through.
Follow me
shit.
Here, and then boom, done, right? Something like that, right? Not like fucking this guy was like, hello, like, I am Ian, and it is good to meet you. Follow my Facebook.
I don't know what that accent is, by the way.
And then fucking...
I don't know what accent you're doing.
Oh, yeah, well...
That was not his accent.
No, that was his fucking... Bro, I'm gonna put the fucking video up on post right now, bro.
I don't remember what it was, but it was more in the, like, English, Australian range
you're right.
than it was whatever the fuck that just was. Was that
right, bro. Well, you don't
Indian?
have to fucking, you didn't have to fucking Indian. Jesus Christ,
hello?
bro. Okay, well, yeah, you obviously have never left Tarrant County, bro. Because if you thought that was a fucking Indian accent, dude, you were absolutely fucking retarded, bro.
I'm bad at accents.
That was more like an Eastern European, like kind of Romanian, kind of like, all those countries that, kind of blend together and don't really matter.
I'm bad at geography. But
and then everybody else is like fucking couple of dumbass Americans sitting here like fucking
I'm bad at geography, but I have a feeling that wherever he's from is closer to India than it is the Eastern Europe or wherever. Nah, never mind. I don't know where I'm going. That's ADHD brain right there.
Dude, I swear to God, bro, I was fucking talking to this girl that I work with on the phone.
Hot.
And she was really hot. So, dude, she is she's in California, right? Dude, straight up, bro. She's in California. I will say that again. And she literally went, "Wait, so this ocean over here is the Pacific, right?"
Is it the Pacific?
On the west.
No, I'm kidding.
And I was just like, oh my God, dude. Okay, I feel a lot better. But I'll tell you this, dude. I've been to, have you ever been overseas yet?
What qualifies as overseas?
Like, have you been to Europe? Have you been to Hawaii?
I've been to Hawaii a few times. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So I've been to Japan, right? I've been to Hawaii and Japan, right?
Okay.
My point is, so you know how like a lot of countries, like a lot of people from other countries will be like, yeah, Americans are so stupid, like, because everybody speaks English all over the world, but we also speak our home languages, and we all speak at least 2, if not 3, and you idiots only speak 1.
Yeah.
Dude, it made me feel so much better when I went to Japan, dude, because some people speak English there, like in the hotels and like the tourist area, especially like in Tokyo. Some of them do. But dude, way more Japanese people do not speak hardly any English, if any at all, than the Japanese that do speak English, man. And I actually liked that.
I wonder why. Maybe it's because we bombed them or something.
You think it's like
they might hold a grudge?
You think they just didn't get over that? Right.
I don't know if we would have gotten. We still talk about Pearl Harbor.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's true.
That wasn't a nuke.
Yeah, exactly.
We did it twice.
Yeah, I know, right? And we're like, that was still fucked up. It's like, dude, you fucking dropped fucking bombs.
Fool me once. No, we fooled you twice, motherfuckers.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, man.
But yeah, can't get fooled again.
It made me feel like so much better because I was like, dude, like you don't fucking, you don't speak English. That's great. It makes me feel so much better that I don't speak your language because it's like, dude, I'm glad.
Yeah, what fucking idiot Japanese people can't even speak English?
Yeah, dude, right? Yeah, that's what's cool about it. I don't know, man. I feel like a lot of Americans too, like my barber, like my barber, the guy that used to be my barber before I moved here from California, like he travels all over the world, and he was in London with his girlfriend, and they were at a restaurant, and there was a dude with his family that had a Trump hat on, and he was like, dude, like this fucking guy, bro, like regardless of whether you're a Trump supporter or not, it's like when you go to like London, do you think people really give a shit? You know what I mean? Like, so he's wearing the hat, you know what I mean? Out in a restaurant with his family in London. And
there are people that literally think that hat is like dope as shit.
Right.
They're like, no, this is like Supreme basically.
Right. Supreme. It's basically Supreme. It might even, well, anyway, but so like, I guess what the guy did though, is like, I guess the gratuity, like at most of the restaurants there, I don't know. I haven't been
in Europe. They build it in.
Yeah,
they pay. You don't tip really.
So this guy left a cash tip on the table, and they were like, "Oh, sir, like you don't need to."
Yeah.
And then he was like, "No, I'm an American. We tip. It's what we do." It's like, dude,
that's just not understanding the culture.
But it's like, why would you? How do you not have the fucking like self-awareness to know that that's like a dick thing to do, and just like that just seems like crazy, dude. Like I would never do that,
Yeah, no, like that's the thing. Like, I mean, you hear about that like if you work in the service industry, because like in America, what do we pay servers? $2.13 an hour, and then the rest of the money is tips. But like in Europe, you're paid hourly, and like your work is just like the tips are built into what you're paid hourly. There is no tipping.
Yeah, well, it depends on the state. Because in California, you make $100,000 a year being a server plus your tips, but you're still homeless.
I'm like, wait, what? Remember, I haven't lived outside of Tarrant County, dude.
I
believe anything you say about California, because that's the wild fucking West.
The minimum wage is definitely. I think servers are
15, right?
I think servers are getting paid the 15 and then like their tips and stuff, but like the taxation is more balanced out. But you got to remember, dude, it's so fucking expensive to live there.
Well, yeah.
So like, dude, I mean, New York and like San Francisco, Los Angeles, like, I mean, dude,
Austin's getting that way.
Austin's getting more expensive.
Yeah, it's not there yet.
It's nowhere near it yet in terms of just day-to-day cost of living.
It'll be there in like a decade.
Probably. It probably will. I don't know what the fuck's going to happen with California, though, bro, because it's getting so out of control, which is one of the reasons why I left, especially during COVID.
A lot of people left.
Why a lot of people left.
They all moved here.
Yeah. But do you know what the difference is, though, dude? This is what I tell people. Like, whenever they're like, oh, like, I like, if they ask me where I'm from, I don't advertise it, okay? I don't go like fucking. I think that's the problem, dude, is I think a lot of people come here from California and they're like, we're from California. Like, fucking, do you have, like, artichokes? You know what I mean? Like, people, like, try to, like, be like entitled, and they try to tell you ever have the people that are from somewhere else and they try to tell you like, yeah, here is not like there.
Yeah, we do it this way here.
It's like, okay, well, you're not fucking there, bro.
I mean, it's not even like, it's not, you can take the stay part out of it, like going over to somebody's house, they're making dinner, and then like it's the kid that goes, well, my mom does it this way though.
Yeah. It's like, okay, well,
cool.
We have a brown dog as long as we're talking about shit that doesn't fucking matter right now. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
Like, what the fuck? So anyway, like, yeah, dude, I am full on board. I always tell people, dude, I'm here to like roll with the flow, dude. I'm here to embrace Texas. I'm not here to change it.
I don't feel like we're that different. Like, I feel like so many people think Texas is just like, yeehaw. Like,
I think that's some people buy into that.
And people think it's like such a red state, and it's really not. Like, it is. But if you're in Dallas, even Fort Worth, which is like, I think one of like the 3 largest cities in the country that's a Republican city technically, or Republican district. But like even Fort Worth is pretty liberal. Like Austin is super liberal. Houston's very liberal. San Antonio, very liberal. Like any big city in this state is very liberal. It's gets real red if you get like into like the rural areas.
Bro, believe it or not, rural California gets really red too.
Well, yeah, like isn't OC pretty much red?
OC is pretty conservative. My bad, I messed up. Yeah, it gets red in the rural areas in California too. OC is red as well, generally speaking. But if you go to like Bakersfield, if you go to anywhere like that's outside the city, like Victorville, anywhere in there, like it's pretty conservative, bro. Like California obviously was one of the most locked down states for the longest amount of time with COVID. And dude, Bakersfield though, like I went Christmas 2020, right? I went right shortly before I left. I went out to a restaurant in Bakersfield with some guys that I worked with, and there were no masks. We were wearing no masks in the restaurant, and that's dude in California. That's like,
well, that's what San Diego was pretty open relatively quickly too, compared to like LA. Not compared to here, but
compared to LA, everywhere was way more open in the state of California compared to San Francisco and Los Angeles. 100%. Yeah. But yeah, dude, like, I don't know, man. Like, I think I'll tell you right now, man. I love it. I love it here. Like people in Texas, like I've been to Austin before. I've been to Houston before, and I live in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Everybody here is like so much nicer, so much cooler. I feel like they have a whole lot less to prove. I feel like in LA gets a bad rap too, because I'll tell you, the people that are from there, get lumped in with the people that moved there a lot of the times.
Yeah, I've heard that.
And the majority of people in LA that have that like LA stereotype where it's like, I'm better than you, like I'm a fucking dick and I'm plastic and I'm superficial. A lot of people move there that are not from there that think that's how they're supposed to act. Yeah. So then they perpetuate and they start projecting that, and that gives everybody in LA a bad name, when actually a lot of people that are from there are really fucking cool.
Yeah, I believe that.
So, I think it's all about perspective and shit.
No, the thing that gets us in trouble as Texans is we love fucking Texas. We love this shit. Fucking Whataburger, man. And everyone gets so tired of hearing about how great we are.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I think it's like justified though, because I remember people from Boston or New York, they come out to the West Coast all the time. They'll be like, oh, this fucking shit is nothing compared to New York, or this ain't nothing compared to Boston. Like, you know what I mean? And it's like, well, dude, you're not fucking there. Like, you're all the way over here. This isn't New York. This isn't Boston. So we don't give a shit. If I went over to New York, I wouldn't be like, oh yeah, this is how it's supposed to be. You know what I mean? Because I know I'm in a different place, and I don't do that here either. Yeah. You know what I mean? Unless someone asks me like, hey, what's it like? And then I'll talk about it, but I'm not going to be like, you've never heard me go like, oh, this is bullshit compared to fucking. It's like, that's stupid. Like, if you do that, you have to realize you're coming off as a fucking tool. Like no one's going to want to fucking
we
talk
don't
to
want to hear about what you want to change. Okay. We're pretty happy here.
Yeah, dude. I feel like that's also like an experience thing. Like I remember when I was a little younger, I used to have a lack of self-awareness like that. Like I used to think people wanted to hear my input on everything all the time.
I'm that way. I give my opinion on way too much shit.
I got to tell you though, man, at least from what I've seen interacting with you, like, I know like interacting in comedy is a little different because it's like a bunch of people, you're all there for the same thing and you're all kind of on a different level of understanding. You all have the same interests, right? So that helps. But you definitely don't come off to me as like somebody who's like, fucking like interjecting on everything.
Yeah, I used to be really bad that way. I've kind of grown out of it a little bit, but
me too.
Yeah, I was like, especially like in high school. Oh my gosh, I don't know how people like actually talk to me, because if any topic got brought up, I was like, well, actually, like I was like
Adam ruins everything.
Yeah, yes, yeah, no, literally that was me. Like. Or like somebody be like, oh, I fucking love eating at this restaurant. I'd be like, dude, that restaurant sucks. Like this other restaurant, dude, so much better.
Right,
like,
right.
You got to stop eating at that one and start going to that one. Like fucking, have you had Pluckers yet?
No.
Okay. That's a Texas staple. You got to hit up Wingspot.
Okay.
But, like I had friends, Pluckers was relatively new to this area because it's based out of Austin.
Yeah.
And like I had friends that were like talking about, oh, let's go to Buffalo Wild Wings. I'd be like, no, we don't go to Buffalo Wild Wings anymore. We're going to Pluckers. This place is way better. You got to go to like, and just going into it. My friends were exhausted with me talking about it.
Shit, man. Yeah, dude. But yeah, I was even that kind of dude who would like two people would be having a conversation like on the school bus or like having lunch in a cafeteria and they'd be like, yeah, I really like this album. And like, you like that album? Like,
yeah.
It's like,
yep.
Get the fuck out of here, dude. Like, who the fuck are you? And like, I didn't realize that at the time, but then I started to think like, one thing I've gotten better at over time is I've just like gotten older and like had more life experiences. Like I've gotten a lot better at looking at every kind of situation from the other person's point of view. It's like, like how is this coming off to them? How would they feel? How would I feel if they did what I want to say or want to do to them? I've gotten a lot better at that.
Yeah. I think for me, it's just been a slow learning process of opinions are not facts. Because I hate when people are wrong. Like it's such a pet peeve of mine, which I know is super annoying on my part.
Right.
But yeah, it used to drive my ex crazy because she'd be like playing an album. Like, I don't even know how you can listen to this person. Like they're terrible. They are absolutely terrible. And she'd be like, that's an opinion, Jacob. And I'm like, no, but like factually speaking, they suck. They're absolutely the worst. And she'd be like, you're ridiculous. Like it drove her nuts. And I'm single now.
That's fucking funny, dude. Hey, going back to like the accent thing, have you ever had a social situation happen though where like there was a miscommunication because somebody did like have such a thick accent or had English as a second language so bad that you literally like it's almost funny like how much you had to fucking be like, what? Like,
yeah, I've had that before. I mean, dude, I have that with John L. Brown like all the time.
And he's from here.
He's from South Carolina.
He's from America. He's from the United States.
Well, he has such a thick country accent, which is weird for me. Like country accents are different all over, but like my mom's whole side of the family is from like the boonies in East Texas. Like they all have thick country accents. Like my mom even has a pretty thick twang to her.
She's definitely obviously got a southern accent to her. Yeah.
Yeah. And like, I just can't understand John. Like, I understand like half of what he says. So it's just like freaking a math equation going on in my head. Like it's a puzzle, just putting words together, trying to figure out what he's trying to tell me. I still laugh at his jokes because I can figure it out as he's doing it, but I'm having to work.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, he definitely has like kind of that signature thing going on. My thing, dude. So like my first year of college, right? I was I had my part-time job was in the cafeteria doing food prep and food service for one of the dorm cafeterias, right? So so it was big cafeteria, and
what school did you go to?
UCLA.
Oh, okay.
So there was like a big cafeteria, and there's a Persian guy that like, there were 3 Persian dudes that were very cool that I worked with, right? They were all like basically fresh off the boat, dude. They've been in the country maybe like, like a couple months. And 2 of the guys were younger. They were like in their mid 20s, So they were like learning, and they kind of like knew a lot more about like the American culture and stuff like that, and they wanted to learn more. The other dude was kind of like I think he was like in his late 30s, early 40s. So he was taking English classes, but he was like way more. He was older, so he was way more like it's gonna take longer for him to learn English. It's gonna take him longer to do all that stuff. So he was like prepping. He was making some food because he was like way higher up. I was just like a kid that was like, do this, do that, get this meatballs ready, whatever the fuck. So
just clock in, get out as quick as possible.
He was like, taste this rice pilaf that I made, right? Mm-hmm. And then I was like, that's good shit. And he was like, what you say?
He thought you said
dude,
shit.
He was like, what you say? You know, he was like so mad. And then I was like, no, like it's good, like good shit, like it's good. He's like, but you say it is shit. And then I'm like, no, I know, man. I know it's funny, but like that's like good shit is good. And he was like legitimately puzzled, dude. He was like, but how can shit be good? You know what I mean? And I'm like, I don't know, man. Yeah, it's dumb. I don't know, man. I mean, that's just how it is, dude. And then he's just like, dude, he's paused and he's just like, good shit. And then, dude, every time I worked, this is 100% true, bro. Every time I worked, like, he would see me like coming out of the walk-in fridge or like carrying a bucket of water or whatever, and he'd be like, good shit, like scream it to me from across.
Dude, that's a bit.
I should tell that story, right?
Yeah, that's a short story, but yes. Yeah.
Just like a quick one, yeah.
Yeah, that could be like a transition thing.
4 months, dude, throughout the year, school year, because I worked there my entire first school year, damn near. He would literally just fucking anytime, good shit, like yell it. And people were like, what? Like people would be like so chopping food and prepping, be like, what is that? And I'm just like, it's a thing.
No, when I worked at Outback Steakhouse in high school, my nickname with the managers was shit for brains. And they would say it in front of customers.
Hey, shit for brains.
And it was like a joke just because like I was a host, which is like unbelievable that I was hosting. I was like the only dude. It was me and just a bunch of chicks. Yeah. But I was like, I don't want to serve tables. I don't care. I make enough money hosting. But like I was the best at it, like out of all the hosts that we had. So I was the one that like ran the board at the front all the time. Yeah. And then like other people would fuck up and they just like liked taking it out on me. So it was just that was like the nickname was just shit for brains from that. Just like, okay, like he's doing all the work, so we just have to bring him down a peg. Yeah. They tried to give me employee of the month 3 times while I was there, and I refused it all the time.
Oh my God.
I was like, a host should not be employee of the month. Like, give it to a server or somebody like that. Like, I mean, I was a high school student living with my parents. My parents were paying my gas and all that, my phone bill, insurance. I was like, I don't like, if you want employee of the month, you got $100. And I was like, yeah, like don't give that to me. Like, I'm 17. I don't need it.
Yeah, dude. Fuck.
Yeah, that's my humble brag right there. Buddy.
So you worked at Outback. You worked at
Taco Bell.
Did you work at any other restaurants?
No. So I worked at Outback until I graduated high school, and I was supposed to stay working that summer, but I was like, oh, it's the summer between my senior year and freshman year of college, so I got to spend all the time with my friends that I can, so I just stopped working. Yeah. Like, they were like, I was like, take me off the schedule and I'll just pick up shifts. Didn't pick up a single shift that whole summer. I was like, I'm good. Bro, I had a girlfriend for the first time at that point in my life. I was like, let me just keep on fucking out here and let me get my dick wet a little more. Don't want to be working, missing out on this shit.
Dude, I haven't worked at restaurants in a long time, but I did work at a shitload of them, right? Like in my teenage years, and then like some early college years. So I got fired from 3 Quiznos. So, dude, because I was on a shitload of drugs at the time.
That is a low.
That's a fucking.
To get fired from Quiznos. That's worse than Subway.
That's a skill, bro. Yeah, because I think Quiznos. I don't know about now, but at the time
do they even exist anymore?
I think in certain parts of the country they do.
Didn't they file for bankruptcy a couple years ago?
They did. Did you hear about what happened with that? Like, not to jump down a rabbit hole with it, but long story short, the owners of the company that owned it, or the owners, I can't remember if it was a person or it became a group, but they fucked up so bad. They literally shot themselves in the foot, because what they did was they were expanding. I don't know if you remember this, but dude, a long time ago, they were blowing up. They were everywhere, dude. People loved Quiznos. Subway started toasting their subs because of Quiznos. Yeah. They didn't toast before them. So they were getting so big. It's not that they overexpanded, dude. They were expanding rapidly, and their market share was going up. People loved them. Dude, they bought a food supply company and forced all of the franchisees to purchase all of the supplies from their food and beverage supply company. And they fucking marked up the prices, dude. And they forced the franchisees to pay these inflated prices on their own products.
So they fucked the franchisees over.
And it became too expensive. So
they didn't have corporate stores either, did they? I don't think so. That's a deep cut to like be looking into.
I don't think so. I don't think they did though, because I think it was all franchise, and then that's the problem. So all these franchisees, man, they put all their money into opening the restaurant and running it.
Yeah.
And then they're like, dude, I can't afford this. And then they're like, well, it's too bad. You have to buy from us. So they're like, okay, well, I got close. I can't afford this.
We had a Quiznos in Keller when I was growing up, and it got shut down by the health department because they caught the story was this. I don't know if it's true.
Yeah.
But allegedly, the health department official came in to do like a check or whatever, and the owner or the manager or whatever was in the back office watching porn and jerking off in the office, and they just shut him down.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Bro, so like with the Quiznos thing, so I ran up to San Francisco, was doing a bunch of drugs. I was like 17. I graduated early, which was like kind of like devil's, like, idle hands of the devil's plaything or whatever. Like, dude, so I was like, just my drug use fucking went up. I was fucking doing all kinds of shit, heroin, smoking weed all the time, just constantly stoned, constantly fucked up. You know what I mean? And I went up there and I got a job at a fucking Quiznos, and I was like borderline homeless, like in and out of couch surfing, sleeping on the fucking street, like hanging out with a bunch of gutter punks, all this stuff. And like, so I got a job at this Quiznos, and this dude owned it, right? Or was the franchisee, right? Mm-hmm. Dude, I would go in there for lunch shifts. I'd fuck sandwiches up. I'd knock cups over. I'd just be so useless. So after like maybe like a week or two, he's like, you're done. Like, I fire you. He fired me. And then so I went over to Chinatown and I got a job at a different Quiznos because I already knew how to make most of the sandwiches. So I was like, hey, I know how to make the sandwiches. Like, I know how to make the Italian, I know how to make the turkey bacon guac, I know how to do all this shit. So then she was like, oh, okay, great, I'll hire you, Dude, I didn't know this was the wife of the guy who fired me at the other store. So I'm working there, bro, like my first lunch shift, and he comes in to like say hi to his wife at the other store, and he's like, you fucking hired this guy.
That's the best.
Oh yeah, dude. So I was like, fucking, obviously, like she like still gave me a little bit of a chance, but I eventually got fired because I did the same stupid fuck up shit there too.
Yeah.
But it was just like, dude, the look on his fucking face
That's
was
so
like,
funny.
This motherfucker.
This dude.
Oh my God.
He can't quit us. He just loves Quiznos.
I know, right?
He's committed to the cause.
Oh my God. That shit was so funny.
Oh, dude, that's hilarious.
All right, man. So we are, I don't know, I think we're good on time, bro. I think we gotta stop. But fuck yeah, dude. Thanks for coming by.
That was fun.
Yeah, that was a great conversation, man. I'll have you on again, obviously, as we'll get more episodes going. I'm gonna fucking get this set up. This is all kind of fucking ghetto, kind of makeshift right now. And I'm gonna get the sign. I'm gonna get some chairs. This is just the beginning visuals for my home.
I'm a cheap date.
Yeah, he's gonna be. He's one of the starter episodes. But yeah, so if you like this episode, if you're still listening, be sure to follow and download on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you listen to podcasts. And then if you're watching this, you can go there to listen. If you're listening, you can see the visual version of this on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok, all at Crux Crawford. Follow me on there so you can keep in touch. Let me know what you want, what you think about the show. Let me know if you want me to cover certain things, etc. And we're going to keep pumping them out to you. So thanks for listening, and thanks for coming, Jacob. And we will catch you next time.
Let me hear you say Crux, yeah. Crux, yeah. Let me hear you say Crux, yeah.